Why is it a good idea to get rid of social media and not use it? Let's find out. Hope you had a good cold shower this morning or yesterday. How did that work out? Leave comments on the other video, which I'll link in this one. Anyway, hack number 2 for life, for a better life, for a more productive, for a happier life. Again, another mental idea, properly mental idea, is essentially delete social media. Don't panic. The fact that this is on social media is sort of therefore kind of defeating the object. Let me explain. So the classic thing we do all the time, I'm guilty of it, I'm sure you're guilty of it, everyone's guilty of it. You just look out your window, look around now, you're pretty much bound to see someone doing this. There'll be someone going like this. And it's a habit, you know, we've all sort of done it, and having our phone and kind of looking at our phone is almost part of normal life now. The problem is, the thing we're doing on the phone generally, 99% of the time, is social media. Now, social media in itself, I don't think is a bad thing at all. I think it's a very good thing and it has huge benefits. But the problem is, it's very easy to get, I'm not even going to go as far to say addicted, you know, it's not about that, but it's more about, it's almost to rely on it to fill in gaps. So if we're waiting at a bus stop and we're sort of, years ago before that, we would just be like, just sort of looking around, probably bored, let's be honest, and just sort of looking around and sort of being there, being in the moment. Where now, if there's a sort of a 4 millisecond gap for something, straight away the phone's there and we're looking through Instagram, Facebook, or whatever your sort of platform of choice is. And so whilst in itself there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, because that's now the sort of knee-jerk reaction, that's what we do whenever there's literally nothing to do for a millisecond, we pick up our phone and we're looking at Instagram, Facebook, etc. And so rather than just enjoying the countryside and, you know, the fresh air and being outside and that small 10-minute walk, I had headphones in, I'm walking along watching a YouTube video. And it wasn't sort of, you know, how to edit things or how to color grade a video, and it wasn't anything particularly useful or knowledge based or anything like that. It was just a simple video that was a bit funny, right? You know, I was kind of just, I felt the need to fill in that gap with some sort of thing on my phone, some sort of social media. And so where I'm getting to with this point is we easily fill in those sort of gaps with nonsense, essentially, but at the sort of the expense of taking in the moment, living in the moment and being in the moment. And this does sort of lead on as well to tomorrow's life hack, but it's, yeah, often we could sort of appreciate where we are and around the surroundings and the fresh air or what we're doing more than constantly looking at social media. And because we have it on our phone, that's the problem, it's just there and there's nothing else to do, off it goes. So I've purposely, over the past few months, kind of, saying weaned myself off, but kind of stopped using social media as much. I do, like everyone, you know, I haven't completely got rid of it, but I'm posting less. I only really post about my YouTube videos. I like a few pictures here and there, but I don't post really that much. And this brings me on to the next part of this. The natural question would come up was, well, what about if I use social media for my business, or I'm trying to promote something, that kind of thing? You know, how can I not use it? Because it's always said, you know, if you've got 5 minutes, make a post. This is the very huge difference, where the kind of line sits. There's being on social media and posting, whether it's Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and posting things is one thing. And then there's consuming, posting and consuming. Now, posting again gets kind of split, because if you're just posting for the sake of posting things for wanting likes and wanting that sort of external validation of how great you are or how good looking you are or how great your life is, you want all the likes and that sort of thing, that's certainly not a healthy place to be. But if you're posting stuff because it's funny, or, you know, just general sort of that That's all good. You know, there's no problems with that, and that's the whole point of, you know, social media. My concern is more about the consumption of stuff. So if you're bored and you're just consuming, sort of just scrolling, and you're not purposely looking for something, you're not purposely on there for a specific thing. Where, say, if you go to YouTube, you specifically look for either a particular person you follow or a particular how-to video, something like that. Or Instagram, you just want to see how a certain person look at their story. Rather than just scrolling through in case you happen to see anything. That's the difference. If you're using social media on purpose, you're purposely posting, this is a phrase that's used a lot in marketing, posting on purpose, then that's a very different thing to kind of just scrolling through, not really aware of why you're doing it, or, you know, what's the point. That's the thing I'm trying to get rid of, because that's the unhealthy thing. Whereas if you're posting on purpose, you go, you know, I want to share this moment, I want to talk about this particular thing, I want to share this product, or, you know, whatever, share my YouTube video. That's particularly posted on purpose, and that's a certain thing, and that's fine. But when it's that constant just scrolling for no particular reason, that's the danger, where you could be kind of enjoying what's going on, or oddly being a human and talking to somebody that's in your midst. You see it all the time. People are in a group, even this is one of the worst things, you go out to dinner and everyone's got their phone out. It's like, well, you've gone out to dinner, why aren't you talking to each other? It's bizarre. So that whole concept of actually being a human and talking to people, that's where you want to be. And then posting, you don't have to be constantly posting every single second of the day, particularly when you're in company of other people. That's what I'm saying, kind of deleting social media off of your phone if you can't trust yourself not to do it. But if you can, then great, can leave it on there, but it's being mindful and getting it out of the habit of every single millisecond that's downtime, picking the phone up and checking stuff. Yeah, that's the difference. And it's not about perception at all, because you might go, well, I've got my phone out, but I'm actually sort of making notes for my next YouTube video, which I do. Or, I'm writing my book and I'm writing notes down on my shopping list. That's fine, because that's, it doesn't matter what other people, it's what you, it's not about I'm doing this compared to that person, it's what you do for you. It's important to get and realise that your happiness and just fulfillment comes from inside you and not from external validation. So if you're outside somewhere, enjoy the countryside, enjoy the lovely trees, the fresh air, whatever it be, the sheep in the field or the cars driving by, all of that stuff, be part of that, be in the moment, take in that stuff, as opposed to shutting yourself out into this tiny little screen and being in this world here. Be actually in the real world for a change. It's a bit of a bizarre idea, I know, these days, but being in the real world, it's actually quite enlightening, and it's a lovely feeling when you are sort of out. And said I sort of did that then, and I was sort of, only afterwards I realised, wow, I could have just walked and had a nice walk, 10 minutes, fresh air, nice, but I felt that need. I said, whether or not that's an addiction, that's a whole different subject. The point being is just be aware of taking in your surroundings, being in the moment, rather than constantly looking at everything on your phone, on social media. And I think it's going to give you a much sort of happier, content life, because one, you're not getting fed all the kind of crap that you're maybe sort of judging yourself against, but also you are then creating your world, as opposed to taking on influences from all these other things, because ultimately you are in charge of your life and you decide how you do it. However, if you've got 10 million influences coming on every minute here, it's easy to be swayed that way. And we get it in normal media, which is why I also say, don't watch the news, don't read newspapers, but sort of limit that intake of external influences, so you can be you and be the real you and the happy you. All good. So that's it for today. That's kind of a little bit shorter today, but that's the idea of kind of deleting the apps on your phone if you can then, you know, if you then want to post stuff when you get home on computer, or if that's not possible because of just the nature of how you use them, be aware of how you're using them and kind of consume less and post on purpose, and don't just scroll for the sake of scrolling. Hopefully you got some value from this. If you have, hit that like button so it's nice and blue, a bit like the Facebook logo and Twitter. And subscribe if you haven't, I really do appreciate it. For now, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so down here, and check out my other video down here. And remember, live your best life and profit from that passion. See you next time. Bye-bye.